Thank you. Football is finally here. I didn't know what to do with myself yesterday. I'm up at the Canisius Cathedral prep game, and I'm like, oh, everybody talk about Deion Sanders and they with the upset and TCU. I just dawned on me like, damn, football is back. Let me go ahead and set the rest of my day and watch some football. So happy, ecstatic that football is back 24/7. LSU and Florida State play tonight. Man, we got some things to unpack here. Obviously, NFL week, everything sets off this week. So the New York Jets are on the clock. They will face the Buffalo Bills, Monday night, 9/11. So, yeah, we'll be giving you nothing but the exclusive, step by step, and leading up to game time, what's be going on with your Bills versus Jets. Look no further, but. Gentlemen, we still have some things to talk about. We got high school football. There's a lot of high school football going on over the course of this weekend. But the biggest story, obviously, is Deion Sanders and, Colorado upsetting TCU. TCU, they were ranked 17th in the country.
Was that really an upset, though?
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, yes, it is an upset.
Yes.
Absolutely, it's an upset. When a team that was 1-11 last year beat a ranked team in their building.
Top 25.
A top 25 opponent.
In their building.
A team that just went to the national championship, by the way. Let's not forget TCU played Georgia in the national championship game last year.
Correct.
So to be playing a team that was 1-11 last year and you basically was the number 2 team in the country, of course that's an upset. Especially when it's, I guess, the knock of it is that these guys were from HBCU schools, and I guess they just didn't have what it take to play on that level. I'm confused about that narrative. Like,
these boys is them.
I am really confused about that narrative because what comes from that? Like, how can someone really say that? Like, I mean, I'm trying to process this the best way I can possibly process it.
It's hate.
That's
hate. Yeah, you take a look at. I mean, Travis Hunter was one of the best college players coming out of high school, regardless of where he went. Right? He just happened to go to a HBCU because it was being coached by Deion Sanders. That boy is still maybe the most talented player in the country, regardless of what school he was at or is at now. Like, he's still him.
He was the number 1 ranked player in the country.
Yeah.
He could have went to St. Bonaventure. He's still the number 1 ranked player in his class.
Absolutely. Sanders, the quarterback, Shadurs, is one of the best quarterbacks in the country. They had 4 receivers with over 100 yards receiving. That's nutty. Makes no sense.
That is insane, right? Yeah, so, I mean, nobody's talking about those numbers. I mean, here it is. He said it himself. A lot of people put in, a lot of thought in, that Power 5 stuff, and the kid threw for more yards he ever did in his life at a Power 5 school. And he came fresh from an HBU school. So what is that telling you about the talent in HBCUs in reference to what's going on in these Power 5 conferences?
That the talent is there, period.
The talent is definitely there in the HBCU schools. If you have somebody who never threw for 500 yards in the SWAC conference, but here it is, you play the runner-up from the national championship game and you throw for a nickel.
80% pass.
No. You know what? No. I'm not letting no. At first, I was gonna give you the nice little passive answer, which was the competition is there. This just tells us exactly what we've been saying about the Pac-12 for years. Don't play no defense. The Pac-12 is awful when it comes to defense. I don't care. Well, now ain't nobody in the Pac-12. That's why everybody keep leaving the Pac-12 for more competition. But they don't play no defense, which is exactly what Colorado just proved the other night. No defense, 500 yards throwing, plus another 100-some yards rushing. My guy Dylan Edwards going crazy on those guys.
Well, he's a 4 or 5 star guy too. So let's not forget, that they got players. He had to revamp this entire team. He brought in 80 new players. How can you do that in record time and beat a successful programs such as TCU.
Because
That's all I'm
Deion's a
saying.
winner.
By being prime time. That's how you do that.
Yeah,
That's
he's a
all I'm
The
winner.
only way you could do that is by being prime time with Nick Saban. I mean, you basically, so what he did was he took a couple of players. It wasn't just his son and Travis Hunter. Like, although I am going to focus mainly on those two because I think that they're two of the most special talents that we have in college football. So, you know, a freshman superstar is not going to stay as good as a freshman superstar forever. He's going to get better every year. And I think with Travis Hunter and Sanders, these guys have gotten better over the offseason and gotten more comfortable. They've gotten in the second year of Deion's system, or the son, I'm sure, has played in it for a little while now. But, you know, they were able to capitalize on that. And I think they're going to be one of the biggest threats in the college football this year. I really think I'm actually shocked they're not ranked. But I didn't know that they only won one game last year.
Yeah, they only won one game. They're not going to be
I
ranked.
did, but them boys going to be ranked by week 3. I promise you that.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
I'm just saying.
I hope they don't give them the Syracuse treatment because, you know, it took Syracuse when they got ended up ranked like 6-7 weeks.
If Colorado's undefeated, they deserve an opportunity.
Well, they play Nebraska. They play Nebraska next at home. So if they put on another good performance versus Nebraska, then it's going to draw some consideration of them inching up, obviously. And, you know, we'll just see. But first of all, I mean, give Deion Sanders credit. I mean, who wins their debut on the road versus the runner-up in the national championship game and go in there and beat them?
Well, you know what he said. He said after and before the game, give me my theme music. I know already that happened. Well, his theme music is winning football games. That's his theme music.
A few other theme music he has up in there, but you know, he said in the press conference, you know, starting to get comfortable. So you start hearing that mystical and everything else in that Colorado locker room pretty soon, if they keep that up. But
And he called them boys out.
oh yeah, he had the receipts on all the reporters who said it wasn't their time. They're young, they're this, they're that. They
say about prime, bro.
They coming from these HBCU schools,
And I like it.
and they just can't cut it because they come from an HBCU school. And I'm still stuck on that. I mean, what gives them the right to even put that out there like that, to even say that? How do they feel comfortable for them to even say that?
Clicks.
You know?
Some people do it for clicks.
Oh, he come from North Dakota State. What's the difference between Shedeur Sanders and Trey Lance now?
That Sanders going to be better.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, but I'm just saying that you never heard that from
I
that
see.
perspective.
So you're saying Trey Lance could have played?
yeah.
That's what you're saying.
I mean, he played what? Division II, right?
Yeah.
North Dakota State there, like Division
FCS.
1A, they FCS powerhouse. So okay, that's an equivalent to HBCUs. Let's just say that. They're not putting the same context to that. You never said that, if Trey Lance, let's say if Trey Lance transferred to Colorado, you wouldn't have said, oh, he come from North. It wouldn't have been a knock on Trey Lance coming from North Dakota State or South Dakota State or whatever. North Dakota State, excuse me. It wouldn't have been a knock. But all of a sudden, here it is, Shedeur Sanders. These guys, they're being knocked and criticized because of where they come from. And that's what I'm struggling with. That's the problem that I have.
Prejudice is everywhere.
The narrative that was created out of that. And
that's a dumb narrative because if they wanted to, they could be at Ohio State. They could be at Alabama. They could be wherever they wanted to.
Right.
They chose to go play for Coach Bryant.
Right.
So do you think that their talent was diminished because they spent 12 months in Jackson State?
That's what they're saying. That's what I'm
Makes no
saying.
sense.
That's the narrative that they're putting out there.
Mario Williams, one of the most dominant defensive ends, went to Buffalo where nothing was happening. Did he stop being good? No. Like, that don't make no sense. That's not a logical. And he deserved to be called out if that was the narrative he was making, because that's crazy.
Well, it's a bad narrative because Jackson State got their boot smoked today. I think they got Krispy Kremed, in fact, if I'm not mistaken, today.
Oh, Jackson State is they're gonna
They lost.
Obviously, they
all of their
roster. They
roster.
lost their complete roster, so they're gonna take a hit. But
That's the LeBron effect right there.
my thing is, they were basically saying that Shedeur Sanders wasn't ready to play on this level. That's all I'm saying. Basically, that's what I'm saying. We come from that school. The level of competition is different.
Hey,
You'll see.
5 bills say differently.
Let's see. This kid sit up here and threw 80% of his passes. 4 wide receivers had over 100 yards. All
Not a
right,
single interception.
not a single interception. Big plays on big downs. I don't understand. He said it himself. He couldn't explain it any more better than, hey, people put a lot of stuff into this Power 5 stuff. Man, I threw for more yards I've ever thrown for in my life, and I'm coming from an HBCU school. And he never threw for 500 at HBCU school. Never.
Well, Coach, you're going to get plenty of time to show up and show out. This schedule that I'm looking at right now looks very interesting. Nebraska next week.
Mm-hmm.
Then he go home to Colorado State the week after.
That's 2 dubs.
That's 2. That's 3 dubs. Then that's 3-0. Then you got Oregon. Oh, if they beat Oregon.
That's going to be the game.
If they beat Oregon on the road, they got USC the next week at home. That place is going to be rocking. They got plenty of time. Plenty.
So, yeah, they'll be ranked soon as they play Oregon. If they win them, then, yeah, they're going to be ranked, and it's going to set the televised matchup between Colorado and Oregon. And then that's where we're going to see what these guys really made it, because Oregon put up, 81 points then? They put up 81 yesterday.
Oregon thrashed.
Yeah, we're gonna get into that, but we had to chime in that. But shout out to Coach Prime in Colorado, man, for setting the world on its ears yesterday, letting them know it can be done. So shout out to HBCUs too, because you're being represented right now for everybody that's in the SWAT conference and all those HBCU schools. Definitely this is setting the mark. And one thing I don't like neither is that they have the combine and the HBU combine separate. That shouldn't be separate. That should be together. Like, I don't have no understanding is, okay, if they're going to invite 50 players from HBCU schools, then they should just invite that number and combine it with the actual NFL combine. Yeah. It shouldn't be separate. If you're inviting 130 players from across the country in Power 5 or whatever the case is, okay, it should be 380 then. Add HBCU schools and let them compete with everybody that's considered a Heisman candidate, a number 1 overall pick. Let them get the opportunity to compete, on that same stage as everybody else instead of having it separate, because that's a form of segregation. In my eyes, that's what it looks like. It's like, why must you separate it? Why you got to separate it? It's the same process.
Yeah.
It's the same process. So I don't know why is it separated by doing this.
I didn't even know HBCUs had a combine.
Yeah, to me it's kind of insulting. You know what I mean? But they're trying, I guess. So, but to me it's insulting by the way that they're doing it instead of just combining it with the actual combine in Indianapolis with everybody else. It shouldn't be separate. If you're going to do it, then it should be thoroughly evaluated as such. Shouldn't be 2 different combines, so I have a problem with that. But, other ways, man, good job. Colorado TCU at home is going to be fire for them, so we'll see what Coach Prime and the Colorado Buffaloes will do this week. But, gentlemen, it has been some high school football been going on, all right, as you know. I don't know if you got your good computers up, but we get some high school news up. I know I've been out to a few games yesterday. And Bennett, they took care of business as usual. Canisius was in the barn burner with Cathedral Prep. They battled, Health Science. They was in a barn burner on Thursday night. I don't have a few updates. I need some updates from South Park and a few other updates as well out there in high school land. But while you high schoolers out there, we're going to start getting you guys live on the radio, breaking it down on high school sports. Our players of the week. We are definitely going to be out and about, on Thursday nights, Friday nights, and Saturday afternoons to, pinpoint who's the best in Western New York. I know Buffalo News have theirs. Guess what? We're going to have ours. So we're definitely going to be out and about and identifying who's what in the community in reference to our high school sports and our youth sports too. All right. So got a lot of things we're going to talk about. With that, we got a lot of people. We're going to get on the radio and talk some big things when it comes to our youth and youth sports going forward. Big announcement, but that's another topic for another day. So, gentlemen, do you have some high school stuff for me? What do you got for me?
We got McKinley loses top rusher, Sweet Home and Skid James.
Oh, wait, that made the news? Wait a minute, can you repeat that, please?
All right, so there's a headline. It says McKinley lost their top rusher.
They lost their top rusher.
Yeah. Sweet Home ended the losing streak. And Jamestown has a new QB.
Oh, wow. So let's see what's going on with those articles. Care to share that information, please, sir?
Yeah, absolutely. So McKinley, they won that game. They won the game 32-22.
Oh, wow. Good for them.
Quarterback Brandon Liggins, he had a 1-yard touchdown. Timon Nami, he had his first of two.
Timon McNamee?
Okay, McNamee. Yeah, excuse me. He had his first of 3 2-point conversions 2 minutes into the quarter. So they went on to win that game 32-22. And then their top rusher got injured.
The top rusher got injured? Oh. He got injured.
Yeah, it's crazy.
No, he didn't get injured, bro.
Well, you know.
What are they saying? How did he get injured? What are they saying? What are they saying? Don't be shy. It's in the paper, so you can read it. Don't be shy. That's all it says?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, we keep that. What it is. He got injured. That's how they say he got injured.
Nah, I just assumed. I ain't gonna lie.
No, he ain't get injured.
What happened?
He didn't get injured. He didn't get injured. He jumped in that portal.
Oh.
Jumped in portal.
So you leave it.
Yeah, they lost him. So yeah. Wow. So I can't believe that made the news.
I got some scores for you.
Sure.
High school scores. All
Let's,
right.
let's before we get to those scores, let's take our first break. We're going to get into that. Yeah, McKinley lost their running back, but they did take care of the job in winning the game. And we got more high school action. Make sure you keep it locked. The legendary phone lines are open 716-837-1112. You know what to do. We'll be right back for more WUFO Sports Report.
From Bailey Ave to
Wait a
Main
minute. I'm not seeing this right.
From North Buffalo to South Buffalo, we are the legendary
Christian
WUFO
Brothers Academy.
and Power 96.5.
Beat the hell out of South Radio.
A blend of R&B with your favorite
49-8. Yo, what?
Get ready for
Sometimes you shouldn't be playing teams. You shouldn't be playing.
legendary Mix 1080 AM WUFO.
CBA. So they play CBA from out of Syracuse.
A look behind the scenes.
And Rockport, yes,
biggest names in the world of entertainment. Athletes, coaches,
They got their boots.
producers,
Yeah, they got their boots.
engineers, musicians,
So we picked that up. We'll run down some scores. So
just to name
when we
a
come
few.
back, Trey,
They're
you run the
making
scores
it in the
now.
entertainment
We'll
sector,
just
and
shoot.
you'll hear from
Yeah.
them. Celebrity Spotlight, Thursdays.
But,
20
yeah.
p.m.
Buddy
on the
Dick,
legendary
he,
Mix 1080 AM
where you trying to go?
Power
You
96.5
can't just help science.
Oh, damn, what you do?
I ain't do
Coaching?
shit. Yeah, coach.
I said,
Over near French's,
Oh, no, I-
deputy director.
I was running one of my coaches. Well, they said he was failing at McKinley,
For
man.
well over a decade. Roswell
So
Park
the parents wanted him out of there. Like he had
realize
he had no regions. Like he had to pass his regents in summer school this year to pick up. So
most patients want to
They
make
got him out of
sure
there.
they get the best treatment that they
I be
can
forgetting.
get.
academic portions.
We are
of parents.
Yeah, I be forgetting they gotta go to school. It ain't just
Yeah.
work.
Our
So
cancer
they're not-
therapy
They
research,
feel that
cancer
they
therapy
ain't supporting
treatments
us
towards
shit
a more
academics.
specific way,
That's
a
what I
more natural way
So-
of treating cancer. Our patients
one-time
know
transfer.
with full
That's how
confidence
that shit go.
they're getting the best
So yeah, they awesome.
care available. It makes Roswell Park a destination. center.
Yeah.
McKinley's rushing game was impressive to
All around
see
the
after news broke
That's the
before the
reason
game.
I usually spend
Tyrone Hughes transferring to help science, according to Falcons coach Ty Parker.
Whether
Hughes
you
is
own a
expected
local
to make his
business
debut in week 3
or a
against
global
Amherst on September 14th.
you're always always looking for ways
Parker
to position
said
your
Hughes
operation
was
to
sixth
create
in
opportunities
in
and
section
move on them
in
faster.
rushing last
With
year.
Bank of America, you
13-25
get access to
and
experts,
14
award-winning insights, and business solutions so powerful you'll make every move
Fantasy
matter,
back.
locally and
He's only a
globally.
junior.
Visit bankofamerica.com/bankingforbusiness to learn more. What would you like the
Six.
boss to do? Copyright 2023 Bank of America.
Yeah,
NA.
buddy.
This is Pastor Timothy J. Brown.
Some talented backs in this section, Jesus.
Baptist Church in Niagara Falls. When I was hurt in an accident, I hired attorney John Elmore. I knew that John Elmore would get the job done because
Let's take a load off Antoine season for real. Antoine be out there running for his life.
I knew that I hired.
I saw him on the
the
Destroying
next
joint.
day after the accident. Attorney Elmore.
Yo, you know what I heard? I heard they bringing the ABA team.
John Elmore has a
Yeah, it
professional
is.
staff that
What
was
is ABA?
available to me 100%
Basketball.
of the time. After John Elmore filed the lawsuit,
Buffalo
he made the
Extreme.
insurance company pay the money that
That's
I
what I heard.
deserved in just
Oh, you
14 months.
Hmm?
Thank you,
They hear the
John
coach
Elmore.
from the used to coach high school. He coached.
Nothing angers me more than
Jacobs.
lawyers who are incompetent or lawyers who simply do not care. If you're injured in an accident, please call me.
When they getting
Yeah,
that
we're gonna do a
league?
Bills roster recap.
300-0000.
Might not be
That's
Jets.
300-0000.
Past results do not guarantee future outcomes.
Oh, that's a hell of a
Part the
question.
order, is it up to date? Camila's recyclable coffee cup factory can no longer be considered.
Could
a
Russell
project.
Wilson be benched this season?
She needs more
Should've been
designers to
benched.
jump the business to a triple shot.
Client wants to see several more design options. The logo's gotta be bigger.
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
Chad
I
Greenway.
indeed.
Indeed you do. Our hiring platform instantly connects you with quality candidates, and you can schedule and conduct virtual interviews right from the Indeed dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Greenway told we're not sitting back playing Wesley Frazier
Made in
trying to
Michigan
shoot
from
just
the east side to the
being
west side,
We're
from
going
North Buffalo to South
to
Buffalo. We are the legendary Mix 1080 WUFO and Power 96.5. Power965radio.com. A blend of R&B with your favorite throwbacks.
Welcome back, everybody, to the WUFO Sports Report. Once again, I'm your host, Mookie Hawkins. On the ones and twos, Anita Razor Sharp Williams. Joining me inside the booth, I have Andre the Torch Robinson and Justice the General Fan Base Network. Now, gentlemen, today's news shots have been fired. Chad Greenway has made some comments about his former coach, Leslie Frazier, in reference to some things being done. Chad Greenway had this to say: we're not going to sit back playing Leslie Frazier's Tampa 2, just getting dinked and dunked on drives. We're going to go and attack people. I guess that Chad Greenway now must be on the defensive side of the coaching staff in reference to, being in Minnesota. But he did play for Coach Frazier when Leslie Frazier was the head coach there. All right. So, gentlemen, your thoughts on those shots just fired by former Vikings linebacker Chad Greenway?
That's hate. He hating. That's hate.
Why I gotta be hate?
Because, first of all, what incentive does it give you to call out a coach across the league? And not only that, but what incentive does it give you to call out someone who is actually good at his job? There have been way worse coaches in this league than Leslie Frazier. Now he's put us in a position. He's put us in position to be a perennial top 5 defense the last half decade, a little more than that, without top 5 defense talent. All right. So he definitely makes our defense better than the sum of his parts. And we year after year, all they say is, we'll hold them to as few points as possible. We just need you to go out there and score points. And that's what it has been. And when the offense can't get it done, that's when we lose.
Yeah, I say yeah and no. I mean, it has to have some truth to it. Now, sometimes it can't just be hate. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's the truth. It can't be hate when it's the truth.
But you painting the truth in a negative light, that's hate.
Well, no, he said it in so many words because right now, Brian Flores is the defensive coordinator in Minnesota. So he was asked, the difference. And that's what brought up. And not going to be getting dinked and dunked on drives. We're going to go out and attack people. So he's been there for 10 years. He knows Leslie Frazier sees him as not an attacking style defense. So he had to just mimic it that way. You know, we're not going to sit there and let people dink and dunk on us. And guess what? What teams do against the Bills? They dink and dunk on the Bills all the way down the field in 13 seconds and all that other good stuff, right?
Would you see? Here's the thing, though, because it's like pick your poison almost. Yes, they'll get deeked and dunked on. I'm not going to sit here and deny that. But you know what they don't get done on? They don't allow 47-yard touchdown passes. They don't allow 35 yards. They don't allow anything over the top. So you can attack all you want.
Yeah, I can
but
attack.
If you leave
how do you want the 40? How do you want the 40? Do you want it just all in one big pass, or do you want me to dink and dunk you?
Oh yeah, I want you to.
It's okay. Well, then we're just gonna dink and dunk you.
That's fine.
Still
and then once you get into the red zone and you only got so much
those
room
numbers,
to cover,
those numbers are false numbers.
How's it?
Because we're looking at something that's really irrelevant to the fact. If we look at the numbers you just said, right? Or they barely do what? Over 40 yards, they do what?
They don't allow deep passes.
They don't allow deep passes. All right, well, how many passes under that they allow? That's been pivotal.
That's fine. I guess that's subjective. But I'm super cool with you going down the field 40 yards and you taking 12 plays to do it. And now it's, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's fine.
Well, fine. If you don't want Josh Allen to be on the field because you're going to allow us to dink and dunk you, that's great.
Yeah, because you're going to come up with 3 points.
3?
Yeah.
Well, not all the time. Not all the time.
Yeah, sometimes they don't allow them to get any points.
Cincinnati came away with 7s.
Cincinnati had 23 points that entire game?
27 points in the entire game. They really could have had more. They really.
The Bills should have had more.
They could have had more.
The Bills should have had more.
Where they didn't?
They sure didn't.
Why they didn't?
They sure didn't.
Why they didn't?
Because the play calling was horrible.
Well, that was the play calling.
It was always the play. Don't come on. You know I've always said the play calling was terrible.
Okay, so here's the issue with that. That's funny that you say that. So you said that they had opportunities, but they didn't score. Do you think part of the reasons why they didn't have opportunities is because Cincinnati did a whole lot of ball control? Hold on.
One specific game.
No. I'm talking about what y'all talking about just in this game in general because I ain't get to the other part yet. I'm just speaking on this.
All right.
So do you think that's because ball control was important? Like the Cincinnati Bengals ball controlled the game, so Josh Allen had to make plays because he only had so much time, and that's the reason why they left points on the board that they could have had?
No, I think that the play calling from the jump for the Bills was suspect, and then the defensive play calling was also suspect in that particular game.
So then my question is, the offensive play calling, you said it was suspect, then when did it become unsuspect? Because obviously they had to switch up at some point in order to try to catch up, right?
It never became unsuspect.
They never caught it.
Right, but
they never got a rhythm going. They never got anything going.
Right, but you said that they left points on the board. They could have. So my question is,
I'm saying on a regular basis, not in that particular game. On a regular basis, the offense leaves points on the board. Turnovers, whatever the case may be, they leave points on the board.
Let me ask y'all this question because kind of like sliding off the top. It really all started with Leslie Frazier, right? And we broke it down to the Leslie Frazier defenses. Yeah, he does have those numbers. But how many teams won the Super Bowl using the Tampa 2?
Not many, but Chad Greenway need to keep
Who was it? Okay, it was the Bears, 85 Bears. There was a 46 defense.
That's 46.
The Colts was the Colts on Tampa 2 team.
The Colts was Tampa 2.
With Peyton Manning, were they Tampa 2 defense?
Yeah, that was Tampa 2.
Tampa Bay. Obviously, that's Tampa 2.
Okay, so based on that question, let me ask you this. Are you suggesting that our defense was the reason we haven't won the Super Bowl yet?
Defense won championships.
Oh, yeah. I disagree there. We just fundamentally disagree. I think the lack of offensive getting it done when you need to get it done, beside the 13 seconds. No. Outside of that, I think
Let me tell you the big difference between those defenses that won championships and the defenses of Leslie Frazier that didn't win the championships. All right.
Talent.
When you look at those defenses, yeah, okay, you say so we got a talented defense. Just not aggressive enough. You know, those defenses
have the talent to be aggressive.
No, we do have the talent to be aggressive.
Our secondary is amazing. Our defensive line has historically been terrible.
Aggressive.
Because
Mookie,
the defensive line has not been good. How do you be aggressive? How do you be aggressive with the bottom third of the league defensive line?
Football is an aggressive sport.
Okay.
Don't tell me you can't find 11 guys to be aggressive.
Coach,
That's not Leslie Frazier's job.
That is his job.
That's Brandon Bean's job. Is to find players that's going.
It's coach's job.
Leslie Frazier could put as many players as he want out there. If the 4 players he
But
got
you
rushing can't get to the quarterback, then what is he supposed to do?
The difference between those defenses than the Bills defenses is that you weren't scoring on those dudes. They was 6 points.
What defenses?
Those Tampa Bay defenses. They were only you weren't scoring that many points on them.
Are you?
You was not scoring that many points on that
defenses
Warren
with Brooks.
Yeah,
of course. They had the talent.
Bills have that same time.
No, they do not.
Hold on, Coach, you being nice to him because he's saying this offense, but I would beg to differ. 38 points in the AFC Championship game against Kansas City the first go round too. Let's not forget that they put up 38. You only scored 20.
So you have
that
goes back to the talent argument. The Bengals.
No, you said it wasn't the defensive fault though.
It's not. The Bengals
38 points.
Hear me out. The Bengals and the Chiefs are going to put up those numbers versus almost any defense.
Nah, see that?
Yes, they are. Especially if
that's a bad narrative.
How?
That's a bad narrative,
bro. He's literally
I'm gonna tell you why that's a bad.
Onto the field with the talent that is not subsequent to talent.
Here's why that's a bad narrative. It's a bad narrative because I would believe that if the Bills wasn't top 5 defenses, that's a credit to him. No, he's doing that in spite of not having enough talent. He's doing that in spite of not having enough talent. That's what you're telling me.
That's the whole
so you're saying.
So
you're saying right now, Justice in general, you're saying right now.
People walk through our defensive line.
You're saying right now that the Buffalo Bills, Leslie Frazier defense didn't have the talent in 13 seconds.
That's a bad excuse.
That's one example. Yes.
What about the AFC?
You keep giving me specific examples. They played 50, 70 games, whatever the case may be, while Leslie Frazier was defense coordinator. Y'all are bringing up one-offs.
No, okay. And the one-offs are the ones that they make, right, that matter the most. What are we talking about?
So we're going to completely, all right, I'll give you 13 seconds. We're going to completely absolve the
Bills
offense.
All right, so wait a minute. So what did Kansas City do in 13 seconds to the Bills?
They outcoached them.
No, what did they do?
They outcoached them.
What did Chad Greenway say that teams do?
They outcoached them.
Dink and dunk.
They didn't dink and dunk. They right up the seam. That's not dinking and dunking.
That's a dunk.
No. But dinking and dunking
the ding
is where you throw it underneath.
Okay, right. The ding was the first one when they did the stand up to Tyreek. The dunk was Kelsey in the seam. Dink and dunk. Take what they get.
That's one example.
Why are you playing that way?
That's one example.
And
not only that, but Sean McDermott's the head coach and he's the defensive head coach.
This is the time to be aggressive. Yes,
you might have to because just in general giving us some weak excuses right now.
This is insane.
This is the time to be aggressive. What you think? And you talk about we don't have the players to be aggressive. You have the situation to be aggressive. Why not be aggressive in that situation instead of saying we're going to back off you guys because we don't believe that you can kick and field goal range.
Justice. General.
No, I'm asking you since you
I'm not on the field. I can't answer that question.
You're making excuses.
What's your question?
Justice General. My question is, I want you to go back to the last couple of years the Bills been in the playoffs and then tell me the scores of their losses. Tell me the scores. Go ahead.
I don't know.
I'm just saying it's
38 to 20.
So you're saying they play the best teams in the league, they get scored on the line.
30.
Oh my God!
Don't you expect to play the best teams in the league?
No, because the defense does not have the talent of one of the best defenses.
No, sir. That's I totally disagree.
Have the talent of one of the best defenses.
So let me ask you a question. It is not the general manager's responsibility to make sure that you have the best players on the team to play the best teams in the league. That's what you're telling me right now. You making a whack excuse, and the whack excuse is the fact that
now
in
you're
4 playoffs and 4.
There's nothing to do with.
No, I'm not.
You are.
Yes, it does. Because guess what? Brandon Bean, Sean McDermott, Leslie Frazier, they all work together. They all be sitting in the same room.
You think Leslie Frazier has as much pull in terms of roster building as Brandon Bean?
It don't have nothing to do with pulling. It has everything to do with.
No.
It has everything to do with making decisions.
If Leslie Frazier could have Aaron Donald on his defensive line, you think he wouldn't have got him?
Justice, you don't get to the same place multiple times if you don't have enough talent. This is I think honestly the bad excuse for not having enough talent is washed to me. When you've made the playoffs, how many times have been a perennial powerhouse? You don't get Super Bowl favorites for no reason by many of folks.
Okay.
And then hold on. And then, hold on, you give up 27 to the Bengals. You gave up 40, 45, 40-something points to the Chiefs.
Is Joe Burrow one of the best quarterbacks in the league?
42
Is
points.
Joe Burrow one of the best quarterbacks in the league? Do they
Burrow-
have one of the best offenses, yes or no?
Do the Bills have one of the best offenses?
Yes!
Do they have one of the
They
best?
should start playing like
Hold
this.
on. Do they have one of the best quarterbacks in the league?
Yes.
Okay, so when they put up 36 points, right, against the Chiefs when they lost in 13 seconds, whose fault was that?
I just said it.
That was defense fault, right?
Yes.
Okay.
That's one example.
Hold on. When they lost 38-20 in the AFC Championship game, whose fault was that?
Same coach, Brian. That's the best team in the league.
I'm still not hearing that.
You're talking about the top.
You giving me
You're mad because the defense cannot stop the top 1%. Yes, you are.
It's not top 1%.
The
You're
Chiefs
supposed to
are
be
top
able.
You
1%.
saying it's okay for the Bills to lose to them because they're the top team?
I'm saying that the
I'm trying to figure
defense,
this out.
who doesn't have the supreme talent, is going to be bested by an offense
How
that
can you
has
say the
supreme
Bills don't have
talent.
supreme talent
They
when they're
don't
top
have
five? When
supreme
they're top five defense?
And that's a
They
credit
got top 5
to Wesley
offense, top 5
Frazier
defense.
because he makes the sum a lot better than. But before we get to all that, I want to ask y'all.
Justice.
Hold on, I want to ask y'all questions. Which player on this team is as good as John Lynch? Which player on this team is as good as Rondé Barber? Which player on this team is as good as Derek Brooks?
He's naming that.
Are you
Which player on
naming
this
him
team
a
is as good as
championship
Simeon Rice?
game?
Simeon Rice? Which player in this defense is as good as Warren Sapp?
We're talking about whole different eras.
He said that defense ain't getting as much
Same
talent.
It should be equipped.
But you said they
Watch
have
this.
as much talent.
For what the
That's
hold on,
not
watch
true.
this. For
It's not true.
what the league was back then.
I don't
which is the
care.
difference. No.
Those
You should.
players are
You should.
far better.
Hold on. For what the league was back then, the equivalent to the competition and the talent
No, it's
back
not.
then.
No, it's not.
You're telling me.
No,
So
it's
you're
not.
telling me the talent back then is the same as it is now. Then?
I'm telling you, these players.
No, answer the question. You're not answering the question.
No, because I'm making my point. You
gotta
divvying-
answer the question.
You divvying into some other stuff.
No,
I'm telling you
I'm not.
right now, Warren Sapp, Simeon Rice, Derek Brooks, Rondé Barber, John Lynch, we don't have players that touches their talent level.
You're not answering
Von
the
Miller.
question.
Von Miller's
You
the
don't
only
got
one.
guys built like that.
Von Miller's
It's
the
a
only
totally
one.
different era.
Von Miller's the
Football.
only one.
It's a totally different era of football.
What
You're
does that
telling me
have to do with talent?
everything.
You
Because
tell-
the talent
which
is
player
totally
today-
different.
Okay,
Hold on.
so
Let me ask you
if
this.
all,
Hold
if
on.
all the players today are, if we're going by relativity, which player today is as good as Ray Lewis? Which linebacker? did
At linebacker?
Yeah.
You're making okay. Again, by saying that, you're making my point. It's a different era. Ray Lewis was a different era. Running backs, right? So we're talking about running backs. What running backs right now would you say is top 5? That's from this era right now.
He said that the
Right
talent
now.
was as good as the Buffalo Bills talent. That's not true.
I'm saying for the equivalent of what the league is now, the Buffalo Bills talent should be equivalent to what they were in that era. Yes.
The coach ran
That
Tampa
is
too.
not true.
The Indianapolis coach ran
Yo,
Tampa
y'all
too.
are bugging right now.
So the Indianapolis coach ran Tampa
I'm gonna
too.
do a Twitter poll because y'all tripping.
So the Indianapolis coach, they Tampa too.
I got
the same defense. The same defense.
Tony
So,
Dungy, yeah.
so that defense was better than what the Bills defense is. You don't even know nobody on that defense.
I was born in '95. You want me to think back to when I was 7 right now?
You 7.
I mean, you're a historian of the game, right?
You just pulled Tampa Bay. You
I
just
sure
pulled-
did.
That was
And
longer
now
than
you
him.
changing the argument.
That was longer
You
than him.
said that Tampa Bay's defense had the same equal talent that our defense has. That's not true. I just named you 7 players that are Hall of Famers. We don't have that. We don't have that.
Okay, and my argument is those players that was in that era of football.
We have the equivalent
for
to those
the
players.
equivalent now to what the league is. Yes, you should. Jordan Poyer. Hold on.
Jordan Poyer is John Lynch.
Jordan Poyer.
Jordan
For the
Poyer is
equivalent
John
in
Lynch.
this league. In this league.
Do you remember? Do you know who John Lynch was?
Yes, I know who John. Are you kidding me? Just in general, are you kidding me?
You think Jordan?
I'm about to be 40 in
is
3
the
weeks.
same
You don't
type-
think I don't know who
think
John
Jordan
Lynch
Poyer
is?
is the same type of player as John Lynch was?
No, because I'm telling you, that's why I'm saying that they built different. That's why I said the difference
So they're
of
better.
league eras.
Okay, thank you.
Listen, I wouldn't agree. I said the equivalent,
So
though.
the Bills are playing a soft Tampa too. Leslie Frazier was playing a soft.
So Ed Oliver's Ward said, "This is what you said."
Now you just being insulted.
Tampa
Nah,
Bay.
I ain't said nothing like that.
Tampa Bay playing
Wow.
Tampa.
You wow.
Right.
The only person is Von Miller, to be
All right,
honest.
guys. Moving on.
That's all I'm saying.
Next question.
I really wish.
Will
I
the
was
Bills
somewhere.
win the AFC East? I mean,
That's
I can't believe that this is even being mentioned. But since it's being mentioned, I figure I'll put it out there. Like,
Lord.
will the Bills win the AFC East this year? Church, I'll let you go first. Like, will the Bills win the AFC East, and who's a close second if they do?
The Bills will win the AFC East this year. The Jets will be a close second. I've literally heard shows that have the Bills at third place.
Insane.
I'm still trying to figure out where the Jets and the Dolphins made such big moves that they just moved up the total pole while the Bills lost so much that the Bills moved down the total pole. Like, you're literally saying that the Bills will be flirting with the Patriots this year for the last spot in the division, and that's absolutely absurd to me. I don't understand how anybody comes up with that. The only thing that I'm worried about with the Bills is, again, that linebacker play, which they got Christian Kersey, which I hope and pray that they just let that man go ahead and be the mic and play, because they're going to need that. I think the Bills are going to be fine other than that. If the rotation is fine and people keep laughing about Von Miller, I'm tired of y'all. Listen, first of all, I'm tired of y'all fools keep saying Von Miller is washed up, he's damaged goods, he's washed up, blah, blah, blah. I'm tired of y'all saying that. I'm tired of the narrative about Von Miller. Oh, he only had his stats because Aaron Donald was on his line, when Von Miller had 8 sacks in 6 games last year without Von Miller, without anybody besides Jordan Phillips. And I don't even think he played all 6 of those games either, Jordan Phillips, but he still had 8 sacks. I think that's a total disingenuous comment to make about Von Miller. Totally. When he comes back, he's going to be playing the later half of the season where the Bills are going to need it down the stretch. And I think him and Leonard Floyd on each side will be phenomenal, along with Greg Rousseau. Now, I do not agree with the whole Boogie Basham thing, letting him go, but I think the Bills will be fine, and I think their pass rush will get back to what it needs to be when Von Miller comes back. So I really don't have I don't see too much that the Bills lost that makes me believe that they're going to be third place. Stop it. Please stop.
Hey, yo, listen. All right, I understand. I'm a content creator, okay? You know what I mean? The off season, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's why when you drunk it, I was like, no, but I'm a content creator. I get it. You know what I'm saying? In the off season, there ain't really much to talk about. You know what I'm saying? You gotta create and navigate topics and just pull stuff out of the air, right? Last season, I said the Chiefs was gonna come in third. Okay, so like I understand it, but this is just people trying to talk about something. This is just trying to create headlines. This is just trying to get as many clicks as possible. But what you're doing is you're kind of messing with your legitimacy, right? Like, because that makes absolutely no sense. The Dolphins lost 6 of their last 7 games last year. They needed the Buffalo Bills to win in order for them to get into the playoffs. So if the Bills had a bad week and lost, the Dolphins wouldn't even slip the playoffs. So what are we talking about here? They didn't add a Hall of Fame quarterback. They got Tua Tagovailoa still. They added a corner who won't be playing until later in the season. And again, they lost 6 in a row. So I don't think a corner is going to give you a 6-game difference. The Jets finished their season losing 6 in a row. And then they added a quarterback who didn't make the playoffs with the team he played for. Brought in some wide receivers from that same team that didn't make the playoffs that he played for. And now these teams are supposed to come and usurp the team that has been just walking through the AFC East the last couple of years. That doesn't make any sense. People are bored. They need it's winner's fatigue, right? The Bills just been dominating the AFC East all these years. And, you know, they never won a Super Bowl, so it's easy to hate on them. They're not real winners because they didn't make it to the chip yet. So, you know, there's cracks in the armor. The window is closed. Stephon Diggs is upset. Like, all this crap, right? But then week 4, when we 3-0 going into the game, and we didn't blow out 2 of the 3 opponents, and then the third one was maybe not a blowout, but it wasn't close either. Then people are going to go, yeah, the Bills are Super Bowl contenders. Like, it's the same song and dance every year. I remember when I was a kid, the Patriots would start the season like 2-2 or 3-2 or something, and people are like, "Is the dynasty over?" It's the same stuff, right? And ain't nothing gonna change. The Bills gonna walk through the AFC East this year. I honestly don't even think the Jets is gonna be as good as people think they are. I think that the Jets ceiling is 10 wins. I think the Dolphins ceiling is 11 wins, and I don't know if they'll even gonna reach them ceilings. To be honest with y'all. The AFC East is a juggernaut. The AFC period is a juggernaut.
Well, yeah. Well, you know, I agree. I don't believe the hype. I mean, until you beat the champ, then, you know, you got to beat them to beat them for it. So I do say the Bills are still in the driver's seat for, you know, the AFC East. A lot of people keep talking about they're not. I don't understand why they keep saying that. The Bills roster last year was supposed to be the Super Bowl favorite. This roster is a little bit more better than last year's roster. I don't care about other teams picking up other big name free agents. That's really not going to change my thought process on where you just think the Bills are just going to drastically drop off and go from 13 wins to 9 wins. I don't really see that happening. So, I do believe the Bills will win it for a 4th year in a row, and then, you know, we'll sort them out as they may in the playoffs. But let's dive back into high school. Torch, can you run down some scores for us, please?
Absolutely. Friday, we had Tech 18-12 over the Lumberjacks in North Tonawanda. Lancaster 45-8 over Niagara Falls. OP, Orchard Park, 28-13 over the Spartans of Williamsville North. Jamestown 28-6 over Baldwinsville. McKinley 32-22 over Hamburg. Sweet Home beat my alma mater, Williamsville East 21-16. Getting the victory. Yeah, breaking that streak on my team, unfortunately. Grand Island 35-0 over Newport. Williamsville South 35-7 over Amherst. Pioneer 45-7 over Kenmore East. We had West Seneca East 34-28 over Cheektowaga. What a hell of a game that was. Lakeshore 36-32 over Dunkirk. Iroquois 51-6 over Elbin. Roy Hart Barker 31-0 over Burgard. I paused there for a second.
I see.
You know why I paused there too, because I could have swore that there was conversation in here about Burgard's coach in past. I'm gonna put that out there. Depew 39-12 over Tonawanda. Just games that matter. Oh yeah, this is the one that we was talking about earlier. CBA Christian Brothers Academy 49-8 over South Park. Mookie, can you tell for those who don't know who CBA is? Please let them know who CBA is.
Well, CBA is Christian Brothers Academy, and they held out of Syracuse, so they met them halfway in a I-90 battle. And, you know, I guess, you know, South Park is a little young team. They do got one of the best quarterbacks in Western New York and North Willoughby, but I guess he needs some newer weapons to get back to the drawing board to be all right. So, with that being said, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. Phone lines are open, 716-837-1112. Hit us up. You got 10 minutes. We'll be right back.
To Maine and Michigan, from the east side to the west.
Yo, y'all had me thinking that the show was over. Just like, what? Yo, cuz. I'm like, yo, I know this show didn't just go that fast.
We'll be in it at 10:52 sometimes.
Yo, what?
So much tech one, okay.
Yeah.
What the fuck happened to South Park?
They got their boots smoked.
Christian Brothers Academy.
Are they like them, or is South Park like not as good as they used to be?
Christian Brothers is like a powerhouse from out there.
The hottest gospel music.
I mean, South Park, they got a few boys band. They lost them too.
That radio show.
So,
Sunday at 10 p.m. Following
I know it's still going to be probably first team on Western and
Now,
Ooh,
Top
wee.
quarterback
now
around.
your ideas don't have to wait.
Yeah.
Oh, they won
Now
18 to
they
12
have
with
everything
Kick
they need to
Coach.
come to life.
Your
Dell
boy from Penn
Technologies
State
and
is
Intel
fire.
are creating technology that loves ideas.
Oh.
Loves
Drew
expanding
Aldar.
business,
Oh, yeah, he
evolving
was balling
passions.
this
Woo.
I saw Caleb Williams balling. I saw Drake May
He
balling.
put West Virginia on their back for real. White out. He whited them right out. He said, who? Who?
In collaboration with the Buffalo
21-29, 3 touchdowns, 325 passing yards. Oh, I cannot wait till I'm done with this damn.
No Canisius news? Canisius ain't make the paper?
St. Joe's did 30-7 over Ontario team.
Honoring the Tuskegee Airmen's remarkable contribution to American history and aviation. Behold the iconic
This is brought out too.
Tuskegee Airman Mustang. Symbolize.
Oh, you found the
This ain't have
story?
enough. I mean, I know the scores out the game.
Oh, you was
7 to 36.
Experience their valor, story, and
A lot of injuries. They lost like 4 or 5 starters like in the first half.
Who played this week? I'm trying to figure out who played this week.
High school?
Mm-hmm.
For information, visit our website at
Remember what I told you a couple weeks ago? I told you I'm going to use. Yo, let me go right to Mookie on this. Mookie the one to know about this high school. I've never. The only time I ever went to high school football games besides my son's school and my brother's in school.
Hi, I'm
My own.
Light. You know me
As a
as
grown
the
up,
rapper. But guess what?
it's been-
I am the
yeah, just that.
of Sunny Grove.
I haven't been to a whole hell of a lot of high school football
And
games.
SGI undoubtedly has a Cadillac, an Escalade, to be exact. It's luxury at its finest. It's
Can we
black,
play Bennett
it's
next
sleek,
week?
it's clean, and I can show up to any red carpet or any event. Feel like
I think I'm gonna start going to these high school games when the Bisons don't play. When the Bisons on the road, which they only got 3 weeks left anyway. Sabres sent me to Detroit today. Did they send you that?
Buffalo, we are the legendary Mixed 1080 WUFO and Power 96.5.
What's up? We are back. WUFO Sports Report. Once again, I'm your host, Mookie Harkins. On the ones and twos, Miss Anita Razor Sharp Williams. And my guys joining me here is Justice the General and Andre George Robinson. We're just talking a little bit of high school action. And, let's close it out on that, fellas, if we should. Canisius, they lost to Cathedral Prep 47-36. Some bright spots from Canisius. Jack Ashbridge, he had 2 scores. And freshman sensation Eli Kimball, in his debut, over 200 yards rushing on the ground, and a score as well. But they fell a little short. St. Joe's looked good against the team from Canada. Health Science put out a barn burner 58-43 to set the season off on Thursday night. Yeah, it was a good one. It's definitely a good one. But week 1, though, guys, is like, you're not going to be in sync. Nobody's going to be sharp. It's going to be a lot of sloppy football. It's definitely going to show what your team needs to work on.
A lot of times you just now figuring out what you really got, like in game. Like
exactly.
Yeah.
That guy might not have been the best practice player all preseason or training camp long, but then
when
again,
the lights come on,
he's clicking, he's making plays, and we got a few of those that definitely scratch from out of Health Science. But week 1 again, it's just that time of where you really see, like you said, where your team is at and what we can run and what we cannot run, what we need to work on. If we got to make any adjustments as far as personnel, finding out specifically about your players, in the game situation. Are they making any tackles? Are they want to come up and make any tackles? Are they afraid to make plays on both sides of the ball? So, you get a chance to see who's made for the stage, if you will. So, I don't know. Week 2, coaches, only thing I can say is that, you want to get all that stuff fixed. You want to get it cleaned up. If you got to scale back to make it simple for your guys to understand certain things, you may want to do that. But, it's only week 1, so we'll see mid-season on, where these teams really lie at, who's going to get better, who's going to stay the same, and, who's eventually going to fall off. But I'm just, again, happy to know that football is officially back.
Absolutely.
And we got a lot of things to break down and discuss. Tonight's game, gentlemen, LSU, Florida State. Who you going with, Torch? Who you got?
By the way, shout out to my guy TJ Pope. He definitely is an LSU phenomenon. I'm gonna be working with him all season coming up. But Florida State has been my team for the longest. So two of my favorites going at it. I'm gonna go with Florida State on this one, even though LSU is favored by 2 points.
All right, so then I owe you a piece of stuff. Well, let's put a piece on it. I'm gonna go LSU. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I need to brush up on my college football because I'm not all.
That means we gotta get Jerry back in here.
Oh boy!
No, but for real, I'm gonna go LSU. We're gonna put a piece on it.
All right, I'm good with that. Mook, who you got?
I'm going with LSU. We're gonna go with LSU. Coaching. I'm just gonna go with LSU. They got some returning guys coming back. I'm just gonna go with LSU. I think that is a stronger team right now. For it to be week 1 and early, I think LSU is a stronger team. So see what Coach Kelly got. You know what I mean? See what he got. That's what they brought him in for. So we'll see what they got. But Florida State is definitely no slouches. It'll be a good game. Definitely be a good game. But I'm gonna go with LSU on this one. And then, we're definitely going to be breaking down Bills and Jets tomorrow night because that's when it officially goes down. New York Jets are on the clock, and we're definitely going to be talking about it live tomorrow night on Late Night Sports. So this concludes our show on behalf of Anita Razor-Williams, Andre Twitch Robinson, and Justice General. I'm Mookie Hawkins saying stay safe, choose love, not hate. Access to Africa is up next, and wash them damn hands, man.